All right, here we are back again. Monday. How's everyone doing? It's time for the Monday trivia stream. So let's have a look at the rounds we've got coming up tonight. Does it seem eerily quiet? I think just because that intro music was so loud in my headset. Oh, I think I hear a dog coming. It's like afternoon for us, just after lunch. I think I hear the approach of a Beans. She might come here, or she might head straight for Jessica. Hello to the Van Goghs. both in the chat. All right, so as usual, we're kicking things off with some general knowledge. Looking at snazzy light bulb man. Then separated at Perth. This round's a real throwback. This is from like our first month of quizzing. We've brought it back for a second round. Then another Find the Flugelhorn. This is an old staple. You guys know how this one works. Then round 4, our last round before the break, will be clip charades. I can see this dog looking up at me. She's got some obstacles in her way. Come on, you can jump over. All right, then she's turned around. After the interval, after the intermission, we'll have store brand celebs. So the celebrity name version of tiny ice cream spheres. Then we'll have a musical maths. We'll be testing your music knowledge and your math skills. Maths. I came up with the round name, so it's maths. Then round 7, soup. There it is. It's a soup round. And finally, as always, we'll be finishing up with some more general knowledge. So if you're watching the stream, make sure you've got your team name entered in the form. You should also have the form to play along with the questions. No, she just decided to come around to the other direction. You hopping up? There she is. Ooh, she hasn't been well. She's feeling a bit better today. Oh, say hi. Say hi to your fans. Oh, hello. I'll just pop her down behind me. There you go. All right. So, get your team names submitted so you're ready to go. There should have been a little form when you got the link to the stream. There should have been another link to the answer form that you can use to enter your answers. So you put your team name in there. And as always, your answers aren't locked in until you hit submit at the end. I know a couple of the rounds, especially, you think you're finished, but you do actually have to then hit next and then submit. So until you hit that green button that says submit, you haven't submitted your answers. You'll see it as we're going along. You'll figure it out. But without anything else to add, let's get into it. Let's get into round 1, general knowledge. Oh, and this week's beer, the Mud Puppy Porter from Central Waters. I don't think we've been beerless on a few of the recent trivias because it's the daytime. But we thought we'd have a beer this week. All right, so let's have a look. Okay, settle down. We have a few newbies today, so make sure you use the same team name on each form. So yeah, if this is your first time playing along, it will prompt you to add your team name at the start of each round. We use like an automated, we use RSpot, who's our little score checking, our little answer checking robot. And if he's going to keep track of your scores accurately, you do need to use the same team name each round. So just watch that. But otherwise, we're getting straight into round 1, general knowledge. Question 1, which country were the winners of Saturday's Eurovision Song Contest? So was that Iceland, Switzerland, Ukraine, or Italy? Which of those countries was the winner? Who watched it? I know surely our Dutch contingent, it was in Rotterdam, so surely a source of some national pride there from 2019's win for you guys. Question 2, what message did Samuel Morse, that's the inventor of Morse code, send in the world's first telegraph? Telegram, I guess, is when you pay for it. Yeah, telegraph. Was that Hermes flies again? What hath God wrought? Behold the miracle of electricity, or please confirm receipt of a message. So what did that first Morse code telegraph say? Oh, I always get excited for Eurovision. I just find it very entertaining. All right, number 3. Which of these crops did not originate in the New World? Coffee, tobacco, peanuts, or vanilla. So during the Columbian Exchange, some crops that were native to Eurasia and Africa. We had some crops that were native to the Americas. So if these 3 were native to the Americas, 1 was not. So we want the one that was not. Then question 4. Pizza Hut became the first restaurant chain to deliver to space in 2001 when they sent a pizza with what topping to the ISS aboard a resupply rocket? So is that pepperoni, mushroom, salami, or wait, what were the options? I can't see them on here. You can see them on there. Let's see if I can just get that up where I can see it. I was trying to do it from memory, but my memory ain't that good. Hawaiian. All right, and number 5. What have residents of the Florida Keys found repeatedly washing ashore in recent weeks? Is that severed human feet, bundles of cocaine, old Nokia phones, or thousands of dead lobsters? So which of those have been washing ashore in the Florida Keys recently? Oh yeah, we had a great time. We couldn't watch it live. I mean, it was on in the daytime here, Eurovision, but we had stuff to do in the daytime. But we watched it just on video on demand with like 6 hours after it happened, and we watched it as live. We avoided spoilers, and yeah, good fun. When we were living in Europe, it was always a treat. So we were living in Romania, and Romania, sometimes they do something fun, but very often they will just kind of go a bit generic. But Moldova, which is the next country over, and they speak Romanian, the like ethnic Romanians, they're like little Romania, and they always go all out. They are a real fun Eurovision country, so we always root for Moldova a little bit. Moldova went disappointingly a little bit boring this year, but what are you going to do? You can't have a winner every single year. No point for UK. They said it couldn't be done with the new scoring system, but UK, like they sure showed them you can still get no point. All right, so let's have a look at the answers. Italy were the winners. They kind of were just like any kind of pub rock cover band that you might have gone to see when you were like a cheeky underage drinker, 20 years ago or 15 years ago. Just kind of like you expected them to just bust out like a cover of the Strokes or something, but it's fun. It was a fun performance for sure, and they seemed to really enjoy it. Then Samuel Morse, what hath God wrought? Bit melodramatic. It's just radio, Sam. Calm down. Coffee was not from the New World, so the other 3 from the Americas. Coffee, I think, from the Arabian Peninsula, I assume. It's Arabica, right? Then salami was the topping. Apparently, pepperoni doesn't keep well enough. I would have assumed that pepperoni keeps just as well as salami, but there you go. It was a salami pizza. And bundles of cocaine. I mean, of course, it was bundles of cocaine washing up in the Florida Keys. So presumably some smuggling operation had to ditch a bunch of cocaine overboard. Let's have a look at the scoreboard after round one. So here we go. So Pine Tree Inc. in the lead with 4 points after an absence of a few weeks due to some unforeseen circumstances. They should have put some rocket salad on the pizza. That would have been good. But they're American, so they call it arugula. The joke just would not have landed. Bend Over with 3, Mr. B also on 3, Flying Solo and the Van Goghs on 2 points apiece. So very close, but Pine Tree Inc. making a grand return to the quiz. Well done, Pine Tree Inc. And we are going to move on to round 2. So round 2 is Separated at Perth. So the way this one works, I'm going to give you clues describing 2 places. They might be cities, states, even countries with the same name in different parts of the world. So we'll give you clues for each of them, and you have to guess what that name is that they share. So the example there being like one's in Scotland, one's in Western Australia. It's Perth. The answer is Perth. Both of those cities are called Perth. And so you would type in Perth as your answer. Let's have a look at the first clue. So one is a central London district that took its name from a bridge, which in turn took its name from a historic battle. The other is the Belgian municipality where that battle took place. Neither of them were home to the disco foursome who referenced the battle in one of their biggest hits. So a district in central London, a Belgian municipality. The district in London is indirectly named after the Belgian municipality by way of battle and bridge. And the battle itself was referenced in a big disco hit. So plenty of clues there for your Separated at Perth name. All right, number 2. One is the main city. That is a city in the American state of Maine, not the principal city. So one is the main city, which was the destination of the third boxcar midnight train in the song King of the Road. The other is the Northern Irish town, known for a music scene that has produced Two Door Cinema Club and half of Snow Patrol. And the third is the Welsh university town where I did my undergraduate degree. So we've got 3 there. Probably one in particular, like the first one is probably the one that most people would know. But if anyone I went to university with happened to click on the link that I shared on Facebook and is playing tonight, free point for you. All right. Number 3. One is known for attractions such as the Musée d'Orsay and Trocadero Palace. The other is perhaps best known as the title, but not setting, of the influential 1984 Wim Wenders movie. Wim Wenders, great name. Just top-level director name there. All right, then number 4. Clint Eastwood photographed the historic bridges of this Iowa county in the 1995 romantic drama with Meryl Streep. The other is the state capital of Iowa's neighbor to the east. So one of them is in the title of a Clint Eastwood and Meryl Streep romance movie from the 90s. Anyone seen it? Clint Eastwood plays a National Geographic photographer photographing historic covered bridges. And Meryl Streep is a housewife in a loveless marriage who has a passionate 4-day affair with him. And then the other place with the same name is not too far to the east. I believe it. There's probably a VHS copy of every single movie that was released to VHS in the 90s in this house. Yes. And then the final one. One is home to one of England's biggest crosstown sports rivalries. The other was By the Sea in Casey Affleck's critically beloved 2016 drama. So those are your sets of name twin towns and counties and municipalities and what have you. So get your guesses in. This is typing the answer around. So don't worry for like typos or minor misspellings. It is graded by RSpot, our little robot pal, but they will be double checked by a human eye. So you won't be losing points over minor typos. There is obviously a limit to what we would consider a minor typo. When you've got all of the letters wrong in a word and it actually makes a different word, that's not a typo anymore. All right, so get those in. I think the clues are in the answer form, so you shouldn't need us to read them out or like cycle through them or anything. I do want a pizza rocket. What's everyone else drinking tonight? I guess if most of you are in Europe, it's tonight for you. Any first time quizzes in the chat? I know it can be difficult to work the answer form and watch the stream and be in the chat. So sometimes new quizzes are a little shy on that. Wine for the Van Goghs. Red or white? This is more of a beer house. I do like a bit of wine from time to time. Just waiting on one team now. So if that's you, if that sounds like you're the team that hasn't hit submit. We've got a late addition. So someone's joined us. We've got a team that's joined us late. So that will be another team who's, maybe they went through and guessed all the answers to round one. Maybe they picked up some points that way. But welcome to the show, whoever's joined us late. So we'll give you another, because you've joined us late, you can have another minute to get your answers to this round in, and then we'll check the answers and see where our new addition is falling in the scoreboard. Red wine, yeah, I'm more of a red wine guy myself. White is more of a specific occasion. I mean, white wine is a summer drink for sure. I used to work on a vineyard back in my youth, back in the mists of time. I had several vineyards. I was kind of like just a seasonal worker in New Zealand. Good times. And good wines, maybe not. All right, let's have a look at the answers. So the appearance of RSpot means he's now at work adding up your scores. You'll probably see him in the scoreboard. The scoreboard is updated live, and because this is one where the answers are double checked, they are subject to change. So yes, Waterloo is in central London, by Waterloo Bridge. There's Waterloo train station, and of course it's named after the battle in the Napoleonic Wars, and is the name of the ABBA song. Little Eurovision reference there. Bangor, so third boxcar, midnight train, destination Bangor, Maine, is the song, and there's Bangor in County Down, Northern Ireland. That's where Two Door Cinema Club come from, and I went to university in Bangor in Gwynedd, North Wales. Paris, in France, of course, home to the Musée d'Orsay and the Trocadero, and Paris, Texas was that the Wim Wenders movie. Okay, yeah, link for round 3 for the Van Goghs. The Bridges of Madison County was that Romance, and Madison, Wisconsin, the state capital to the east. And the last one, yeah, so that link to round 3 is in the chat there, Kelsey. And Manchester, home to Manchester United and Manchester City. Man United, of course, Man City's biggest rivals. Man City, Man United's second biggest rivals, and Manchester by the Sea, of course, is the name of that Casey Affleck movie. Okay, so let's have a look at the scoreboard after that. And Pine Tree Inc. still in the lead with 1 point on Bend Over and the Van Goghs. Van Goghs making a great surge there. Tied in second place with 6 points. Mr. B with 4. Flying Solo with 4 as well, so tied in third place. Lady McLate, obviously a bit of a rush, got nothing on the round that they missed, and only 1 point in that round. But good to have you, Lady McLate. Plenty of time to catch up. You're only 6 points out of first place, and we've got 6 rounds to go. So you only need to have a 1 point differential each round. Easy peasy. I believe in you. All right, so let's get on to round 3. I'm consciously avoiding my ass. I always get mocked for them by my wife. So round 3, find the flugelhorn. This is the circle something in a picture around. It's kind of like find something in a picture. This week we've got kind of an under the sea theme to our find the flugelhorns. Let's have a look at our first one. Unfortunately, this is on me. I made the graphics for these. I forgot that the form wants everything to be square. I just made it in the same aspect ratio as we make the round graphics. And so everything's going to look a little bit stretched top to bottom, but you can still see everything fine. But it just is not very visually appealing. But we only discovered that right when we did the last minute check, and didn't have time to fix that. So sorry about that in advance. But let's see the first picture and what you're supposed to circle within it. If you're playing on a computer, you won't notice. If you're playing on your phone, you might avoid it if you rotate to horizontal. So, okay, maybe it's just the way I was doing it on my phone. Okay, so first up, we have a bunch of scuba gear, and you guys are going to circle the octopus. Circle the octopus here. So if you are a scuba enthusiast, you have a certain advantage. All right, our second picture. Circle the caudal fin. There we have the lovely gurnard one, definitely a fish that holds a place in my heart. These guys would come up when we went. I didn't on my degree. I did marine biology, so we caught a bunch of these. They're just so funny looking. They got like legs, not legs, but fin spines that kind of act like legs, little spidery legs. These big peacock fins. Just a lot of fun. Next, circle the abyssopelagic zone. So as you can see in this diagram of ocean zones, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 labeled zones. Circle which one you like, indicate in some way which of those zones you think is the abyssopelagic. So either circle the censored labels or just try to draw a box around the whole zone. However you want to do it, just indicate which one you think it is. Then I'll picture the fourth. Circle Aquata. Aquata. We've got Ariel and her sisters. They do a little song where they introduce themselves in at the opening seconds of the movie. Which one is Aquata? And finally, number 5. Also, they all kind of have bigger roles in the straight-to-video sequels if you are fans of those. Circle the common dolphin. Number 5, we've got a bunch of dolphin species there. Circle the common dolphin. So you've got your 5 pictures. You know what you're supposed to be circling in each one. I should have said at the start, probably late now, but try to use a nice visible color. These are, Artspot can't grade these. These are entirely graded by Jessica. So easier it is for her to see, the quicker that goes. But yeah, I kind of left it till the end there. You probably already circled most of them, so sorry about that. Sorry, Jessica. But yeah, get those circled. Because you are entering pictures as your answers, you're probably going to get prompted to complete a captcha when you submit this. So remember, after you do complete the captcha, you still have to hit the submit button. So I think a lot of people often forget. They do that, they complete the captcha and they're like, okay, done. But then you have to hit submit again after that. So a little bit of I had the idea for doing an under the sea themed round, and then Jessica was like, oh, is this because you fucked up with the anglerfish thing? And I was like, oh no, I'd actually was not thinking of that at all. It must have just been subconscious in the back of my mind. Okay, so I think this maybe was a tough round for everyone. But it's just fun. It's fun to get around where you get to draw, even if you don't do great on points out of it. Fun to have a drawing round. Get those answers in, and we'll reveal the answers. Also, I got to show a picture of a gurnard. I like gurnards. What can I say? Okay, so everyone's submitted their guesses, and let's see what you should have circled. So first up, we had the scuba gear. Either of those, if you'd circled both or either, so octopus divers will just call the backup regulator, the secondary regulator is the octopus. So either of those, there's no difference really between your primary regulator and your backup. Depending on how you set your kit up, you could use either of those mouthpieces as your octopus. So either of those would have got you the point. Then number 2. Yeah. Next, the caudal fin is another word. It's like the technical term for the tail fin. Then the abyssopelagic is the second from bottom zone. So the bottom zone in the trenches, that's the hadal zone, as in Hades. And then the abyssal zone is kind of like the bottom of the ocean, like the deepest part of the ocean that isn't a trench. So like the abyssal plains, the like these huge expanses of abyss, basically covered in thick layers of sediment that make them pretty flat. Then we have everyone circled the same wrong part of the fish. Was it the big old peacock fins? Because they do draw the eye. I mean, I would understand it. Then we've got Aquata. She's the blue one. She's the only one whose name really corresponds to her appearance. And finally, the common dolphin. So not the bottlenose down there, like down and to the right, is kind of like the iconic dolphin. That's the bottlenose there, helpfully indicated by my beautiful assistant. But that guy there, kind of golden stripe on the side that turns into gray, you know, black dorsal surface and a white ventral surface. That's the common dolphin, and it is actually the most common dolphin. You see him depicted in ancient Greek art a lot. All right, so let's see how people did there. There's a lot of disagreement on whether the common dolphin is one or two subspecies. Pine Tree Ink still in the lead. Bend Over and the Van Goghs still tied on seconds, but Pine Tree Ink growing the lead slightly, a 2-point lead now. Flying Solo with 6 points, Mr. B with 4, and Lady McLate didn't pick up any points there. But you can still catch up. You can still do it. Slightly bigger point differential needed now, but definitely still achievable. So round 4 is always our last round before the intermission. So we'll often do kind of a little media round. No different this week. We've got for you clip charades. So you're all familiar with the game charades, where you act out, often syllable by syllable, the name of a song, movie, TV show, whatever. These are all movies. And actually, we've gone, because we're getting into blockbuster season, we've gone for movies that are from the 100 highest grossing movies of all time, adjusted for inflation. So this is adjusted for inflation, the top 100 movies of all time. Now, I know I said we're going into blockbuster season. Don't let that trick your brain. These aren't all blockbusters. A lot of these were bit high grossing movies before the idea of a blockbuster was really a thing. But it's say what you see kind of situation. So it's going to be composed of video clips that are spelling out the name of each movie. So each clip might be for a full word, or it might just be for a syllable within a longer word. But it's basically whatever I could find in stock footage, in the various stock footage libraries that we have access to. And you're going to if you just say what you see and sound it out, you'll get it. We'll see. Roll the first clip. We started with on the easier side. So you should be able to re-watch those clips. They're embedded in the form. We'll give you time to do that during the intermission. That's what the intermission is for. And also, for us to go to the bathroom and get new beers and stuff. So that's movie number 2. So you just say what you see, put the words that you see together, and you'll make the name of a movie. You'll have heard of all these movies. All right, let's see number 3. All right, so that was number 3. Bit of a longer one there. 5 clips there. You can put the different parts together to make the name of a movie. Let's see number 4. Gross. That was a gross clip. And last one. All right, so that was your final clip. So this is another type in the answers round. I've just received a little note from Jessica. You guys can still hear me when those clips are playing, so excuse my loud drinking. But you won't be disturbed by me for the next couple of minutes because it's intermission time. So we're going to give you, about a minute with no sound playing to rewatch those clips. Although there's no sound on the clips, so you should be fine. And then the intermission video will start. So we'll see you. Okay, so we'll see you back here. I think, okay, it's just a longer video today because there is no sound on the clips, so you don't need the silent bit. So we'll see you back here in like 3 minutes when we will go through the answers. All right, so get to work. So cover me, 'cause I'ma let you out, I'ma let you in. You're my enemy. If you would let me go, I will let you in. Crabs, you gotta love them. They're just, you could just little tweaks. You get them looking so different from one another, but that common crabness. I'm a big crab fan. It's no secret. So I hope you all enjoyed our crab rave. We're still waiting on about half our teams to get their answers in for that. I know these kind of sound it out, catchphrasey style rounds. We've done them in the past, and people really like to. Sometimes you get stuck down a certain like mind warren, a mind burrow, and it's hard to see that you've dug yourself in. So just get your guesses in, and we'll have a look and see how you've done. I've moved on to the next of our Central Waters beers, the Horseshoes and Hand Grenades Pale Ale. I guess it's made in association with, or inspired by the music of Wisconsin band Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. Not familiar with the band. The beer's nice though. And we're just waiting on one more team. Okay. It's our late comers, Lacey McLate, or whatever that was. So get that in. Number 4 was hard. Was that the really long one? All right. So the saying is a thing. I wasn't familiar with the saying either. Jessica knew the band. So what? Like they're both things that you can chuck, I guess. But yeah, last team, hit submit, and then we can reveal the answers. I'm trying to remember what order they went in. If number 4 was the long one, yeah, I put that in as like, this will feel very satisfying if you get it. And then the other ones, I think, were all a bit more on the gettable side. Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. I see. I understand how that. I see how that applies to hand grenades for sure. Like the game Horseshoes, where you're chucking horseshoes at a stick. I'm familiar with that game. I mean, by that logic, there are plenty of games where close counts. Curling, lawn bowls. There are lots of games that operate on similar logic. Okie doke. So, is that last team in yet, Jessica? Okay, indeed. So let's run through the answers. So we saw a rock and we saw a key. Rock key, rocky was the answer. Then we saw Emerald going bam, 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 bam. And then we saw a bumblebee, fuzzy little bumblebee, Bambi, Bambi. Then the third one, we saw a tower. Oh, I mixed up the order they went in. A ring. Then we saw a tennis ball under review that we saw was just in. That was actually a clip of the first time Hawkeye was ever used at a major tennis tournament in the US Open there. Fern, it was a fern, and then someone saying no. So towering in fern, no. Towering inferno. Then at number 4, someone doing a toot and the sea. Tootsie, the comedy with Dustin Hoffman. I think part of the hard thing about that is you just wouldn't expect it to be a top 100 all-time gross movie, but apparently so. And then number 5, we saw a ghost, and then we saw 2 instances of Buster Keaton, so that's Busters, plural. Ghostbusters was the answer. So those are your 5 movie titles. Let's see how the different teams did, who got the most points there. All right, Van Gogh's doing very well on that round. 4 out of 5 puts them in at second place, just 1 point shy of Pine Tree Inc., who holds on to the lead that they've had all game so far with a narrow margin. Bend Over on 9, Flying Solo on 7, Mr. B on 6, and Lady McLate on 4. Lady McLate's best round so far. So getting things rolling, a sign of things to come, I'm sure. But moving on to the second half of the quiz, we're on to round 5. So our 5th round, store brand celebs. So you can see here, Dippin' Dots referred to as tiny ice cream spheres. What we've done here is we've taken the names of celebrities that can be thesaurusized and basically run them through a thesaurus. So, for example, Taylor Swift could be Suit Maker Fast. So it's their first name and their surname. Basically, we found synonyms for them. So one hint is that the names are English words. So the example is there in the chat if you want to kind of get an idea for the kind of thing we're going for here. So try to find synonyms or close synonyms of the words, and that will make it into a celebrity's first name and surname. So first up, we've got Steel Beneath. Steel Beneath. So think of different words for steel that might be a first name, and different words for beneath that might be a surname. Steel, S-T-A-L, not double E. And it's another type in the answer round. So obviously, when it comes to names, spelling's a variable. Don't worry, we're not gonna dock points for slight different alternative spellings for names. You know, there's often multiple accepted spellings for names. Okay, next up we've got Bounce Dream. Bounce Dream. I'd say this is one of the tougher ones. But if you get it, you'll be like, ah. All right. Number 3. Tear Ripped. I think most of you will get this one. Tear Ripped. All right. Number 4. Spear Patagonian Toothfish. Spear Patagonian Toothfish. And the last one, number 5. Throw Fruit. This one's my favorite because it makes a complete sentence. Throw fruit. And the celebrity's actual name does form a complete sentence as well. So some of these are current celebrities. Some of them are maybe famous people from decades past. We're not talking historical figures. They're all entertainment industry figures. But some of them are dead, let's say that. So some of these trickier than others, but I think it's the kind of thing where when you get one, you kind of get how it works, and you should get more. Oh, I can hear the trivia police ringing. Oh, it's gone to answer machine. No, it hasn't. Oh, that was the little voice ID, caller ID thing saying it's the trivia police. They're calling again. Yeah, wait till round 5. How patient of them. It's usually as soon as we start. So, a tailor is a soup maker. Swift means fast. Soup maker fast, Taylor Swift. Just explaining the example there in case anyone still didn't get what you're doing right now. Oh, did this get washed? It did? Nice. Jessica is a real deal getter, it turns out. At the it's garage sale season now in Wisconsin. Sun's out. Get all the trash out of your house. So she picked me up this giant brandy snifter. So I really did want to get on the brandy this early, but it just goes so well with the robe, don't you think? So one of these days, I will definitely have to have a bit of brandy in the snifter just to go with the robe. Next, I need to get cigars. I don't really want to smoke cigars in the house. Also, I don't really want to smoke cigars. I don't smoke. They seem kind of gross, I'll be honest. But I do like a bit of brandy, and being in Wisconsin, really got to cultivate that love of brandy. We're in real brandy country. So get those celeb names in. How we doing, Jessica? Waiting on 3 teams. So that's half of our players. Yeah, this one is a bit of a thinker for sure. It's just like running through in your head, like, because of course some words it's like more than one meaning that it could be, synonyming on. I think bounce dream is the trickiest one, because both of those words you could go in different directions with how you're synonyming it. Like what meaning? Like what do we mean by bounce? What do we mean by dream? But yeah, they're all thinkers for sure. They all are varying degrees of toughness. I think tear ripped is the most straightforward one. All right, so get those answers in, guys. Hit submit, and we'll have a look at how you've all done. What other endeavors in life are there where close counts? I mean, definitely some other games. There's got to be other stuff where being close is pretty good. Like sometimes I think when you're cooking, I think being close, like say you're trying to make pad thai, for instance, and if you go wrong, you maybe don't get authentic pad thai, but you still get a pretty tasty stir fry. If you forget one of the ingredients, or you substitute, I don't know, you substitute the lime juice for like lemon juice or something, it's still pretty close. This is the theory of all Romanian restaurant cooking. Yeah, I mean, but it's fine, it's fine. All right, I think we're just waiting on one team now, guys. So if that's you, hit submit and get it in. Anyone else? Anywhere else that being close counts? All right, so that was the 30-second timer. So hit submit now. Whatever you've got in, that means you got to hit submit, and we'll go through the answers. If you don't hit submit, it's going to be a 0 on the round. So I'm sure your guesses more likely to get you points than a guaranteed 0. So hit submit and we'll reveal the answers. Here we go. Calculating. There's Arspot. Hi, Arspot. Looking nice today. So the answers are Steel is Rob. Beneath could be Low. Rob Low. Then we've got the toughest one, in my opinion, Bounce or Bob. Dream or Hope. Something. So your dream, not just a dream, is not just something that you do when you're asleep. It's also your dream for the future. Is your hope. So Bob Hope. There is the answer. The most straightforward one: tear, ripped, or rip torn. They are synonyms after all. And then spear or lance, like a knight of old. And Patagonian toothfish is a Chilean sea bass. So lance bass. My A is going all over the place. And my favorite one, throw fruits or chuckberry. Throw fruit, chuckberry. I tried to seed that one in people's minds by earlier talking about chucking hand grenades, chucking horseshoes. Instead of using the word throw, I used the word chuck. Thought it might just get that on the back boiler for people. But let's see how people did. That was a tough round for sure. We just need to hit refresh on that page. Carrie Underwood. Oh, that's pretty close. It's a good one, but there's something up with the scoreboard. And we're back. Oh, people did get a few points though. I was worried we're going to see a bunch of goose eggs there because it is a tough round concept. But Pine Tree Inc. and the Van Goghs tied in first place now with 14 points each. Bend Over in second place with 11. Flying Solo with 9. Mr. B with 7. Lady McLate almost catching up with Mr. B now with 6 points. But it's a tie in the top spot now. So the Van Goghs have caught up with Pine Tree Inc. It's been a slow climb, and now it's level pegging going into the next round, which is musical maths. So this should be a bit of a fun one. We're testing your knowledge of pop artists and rock artists and songs of the last, the popular music era, and also your math skills. So we're going to give you basically math problems, but instead of telling you the numbers, there will be little music-based hints for what each number is. You'll get what I mean when you see the first one. So your first math problem is number of crazy fists times Lou Bega's Mambo. So the number of crazy fists times Lou Bega's Mambo. So you see there, each of those is a clue that will give you a number, and then you just need to plug the numbers into the maths problem to get the answer. So you will answer in the form of a number. So number of crazy fists multiplied by Lou Bega's Mambo. All right, let's have a look at number 2. Digits only here. So this round is a digits only input. So next is Bryan Adams's Summer divided by Days Grace or Doors Down. So that's 2 different clues that give the same answer. So if you don't know Days Grace, maybe you know Doors Down, or vice versa. So Bryan Adams' Summer divided by either Days Grace or Doors Down. Make sure you're using the correct mathematical function. This one's a division. Okay, number 3. Stevie Nicks sang about the edge of this number plus the Eiffel, which sang blue. So Stevie Nicks sang about the edge of this number, plus the Eiffel, which sang blue. All right, and we are getting into some more complex math problems with the last two. So number 4, days in the Beatles' week plus this smooth matchbox, that's in brackets, divided by either live crew or chains. So days in the Beatles' week plus this smooth matchbox divided by either live crew or chains. So pay attention to where the parentheses, where the brackets are in this equation. And final and most mathematically complex problem for you. Powerman's number minus Pulp's Disco divided by Jared Leto's Seconds to Mars minus Nina's Red Balloons. So Powerman's number minus Pulp's Disco creates a number that then gets divided by Jared Leto's Seconds to Mars. There should be a second. Wait, no. There are the correct number of parentheses here. Jessica was just worried for a second. So we begin with 2. Then this first parentheses closes after Pulp's Disco. Then divide that number by Jared Leto's Seconds to Mars, produce another number, and then from that number subtract Nina's Red Balloons. So Powerman's number minus Pulp's Disco divided by Jared Leto's Seconds to Mars minus Nina's Red Balloons. So be careful with your maths as well as with your musical trivia knowledge. And yeah, make sure your answers are entered in the form of digits. So there's actually a ton of numbers used in it turns out in band names and artist names and songs. So this could be a recurring round. I mean, there's a lot to choose from. I was spoiled for choice. I think it's a fun round. I was pretty happy with this little concept. I hope you guys enjoy it. I know maths isn't really fun for everyone, but I think the riddle aspect is kind of enjoyable. Plus, it makes you remember some fun songs. But you got to remember your PEMDAS/BODMAS, depending where you were taught. Yes, it was BODMAS for us in the UK. Brackets, order, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. I believe it's PEMDAS in the United States, which is pretty much the same thing, but they call brackets parentheses. They call order exponents, which is more accurate for sure. And they switch multiplication and division because really the and the as are kind of interchangeable anyway. Kind of distracted this round. Decided to barf suddenly. I hope you're okay. What's up? Did you eat something weird? Dodgy takeaway? Hope you're feeling well. well, obviously you're not feeling well, but hope you begin feeling well again sooner rather than later. But the appearance of Arspot means everyone's got their answers in. Oh, the dog. The dog. Okay. Well, I hope the dog's okay. But I realize that dogs barfing suddenly is a bit more run-of-the-mill than humans. Okay. Yes. Oh well, I know how that can be. We've been dealing with an unwell dog for the last week as well. So yes, I know. I understand what you're going through right now. So yes, that is 36 Crazy Fists times Mambo number 5 equals 180. The summer of 69 divided by the 3 days grace or 3 doors down gets you 23. All right, the edge of 17 plus Eiffel 65, that gets you 82. Then we've got 8 days a week plus Matchbox 20, that's 28, divided by either 2 Live Crew or 2 Chains, that's 14. And Powerman 5000 minus Disco 2000, that gets you 3000. Then divided by 30 seconds to Mars gets you 100. Then subtract 99 red balloons, you are left with 1. So let's have a look. How musical and mathematical are our various teams? Glad to hear that the dog is happily running around again. Which dog? Oh, here come the scores. And the Van Goghs take the lead. Oh boy. Yes, I'm afraid. Yes, 3,000 divided by 30 is 100, not 1,000. So subtract 99 to get 1. Yes, the Van Goghs, despite that, I'm giving my feel well blessings to Vera. Despite that, the Van Goghs have taken the lead with 17 points. Pine Tree Inc. 16. Bendover 13, Flying Solo 12, Mr. B 9, and Lady McLate on 8. Congratulations, Van Goghs. It's been a close one between the Van Goghs and Pine Tree Inc. all night long. Another music thing for our music round. And now the Van Goghs have taken the lead right leading up to the last couple of rounds. Yeah, apparently that was a lucky dog barf. But it's still 1 point in it. It could go either way, and there are other teams also within striking distance. Let's not write them off as well. So round 7, soup. There it is. So this is we've done this round before with cocktails, with non-alcoholic cocktails. Basically, we give you the names of various, in this case, soups, and lists of ingredients. You're going to match each list of ingredients to a soup. So it's a matching round, as our round 7 often is. The 5 soups that you will be matching to their ingredients are Chorba de Berta, Cullen Skink, Snert, Sunday Kukpap, and Vichy Soir. We have gone with funny names, has really influenced our soup selection here. And the list of ingredients. So soup number 1 is made of smoked haddock, potatoes, and onions. So which of those soup names do you think matches this list of ingredients? Smoked haddock, potatoes, onions. Sounds pretty good, I'll be honest. I love a smoked fish. Number 2. So again, we've got potatoes and onions, this time with leeks and cream. Yeah. potato and onion. It's a solid soup component. Can't go wrong. Then number 3, we've got a slightly longer list here. Blood sausage, hot pepper powder, garlic chives, green onions, garlic, fermented shrimp, and rice. So which of those soup names goes with that list of ingredients? Then number 4, tripe, yum, vinegar, sour cream, onions, carrots, parsley root, and celery root. Which of those soups is a tripe soup? A sour, creamy tripe soup. Some of them. I actually have never had this soup in particular, but I feel like I could probably, I might enjoy it. I just can't quite bring myself to do the whole tripe thing. And finally, peas, bacon, carrots, onions, celery roots making another appearance, and black pepper. This one also sounds pretty good. So you've got your 5 lists of ingredients, and you just select from the drop-down menu which soup applies to each one. And we've got a late addition to the stream. Good morning, Brian. It must be extremely early in the morning for Brian, who I believe is in Korea. What is it, like 5 in the morning for you? What are you doing up this early? Oh, yeah, I mean that's true. Yeah, if it hadn't been for the dog vomit, you might have been 2 points in the lead at this point. But you are in the lead, so that's good. Snurt. I had to include Snurt. It's just such a funny soup name. Snurt, Snurt. All right, so it's a matchy round. So everyone's in already. Lovely. So let's first reveal the answers before we look at the scoreboard. So answer the first one. The first soup we saw was smoked haddock, potatoes, and onions. That's Cullen skink, a Scottish soup. It'd be pretty bad if you didn't know Snurt now, wouldn't it, Van Goghs? Then we've got vichyssoise. That's potatoes, leeks, onions, and cream. Then our third soup from Korea is sundae-gukbap. So sundae is a Korean blood sausage, and then sundae-gukbap gukbap just means soup with rice. So sundae-gukbap is blood sausage, hot pepper powder, garlic chives, green onions, garlic, and fermented shrimp, served with a bowl of rice that you just kind of dump into your soup. At least that's how you do it if you're me. I love sundae-gukbap, one of the main foods I miss from Korea. Then ciorba de burtă, one of the national dishes of Romania. Never got around to eating it. Like I said, I just struggle with tripe. Apparently, it's a very rich and luxurious tripe soup. How nice. Well, it's nice of you to check in, Brian. Lovely to have extra people on the stream and in the chat, even if you weren't able to answer the questions. And yeah, we need to do another Asia time zone quiz for our Korea posse. And then peas, bacon. It's like split pea and bacon soup. Lots of cultures have them. Snurt is the Netherlands version, apparently known for being a particularly thick pea soup. I've heard tell that your spoon should be able to stand up in a bowl of snurt that's been properly prepared. All right, so let's have a look at the scoreboard after round 7. And the Van Goghs strengthen their lead. A perfect round on Soups. Oh, these guys know their Soups. 22 points. By the grace of Snert, indeed. Pine Tree Inc., 3 points back, so still mathematically possible to come back in the final round. And but talking of the final round, let's get to it. It's pretty much a 2-horse race at this point. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I'm sure we could. So let's go into our final round of general knowledge. So 5 questions. You can just like play along in your head, Brian, if you like. See how you do on this last round of 5 questions. So, what country contains the most UNESCO World Heritage cities? So UNESCO, they do obviously World Heritage sites and stuff like that. There are like 250 World Heritage cities. They're just cities that have like lots of cultural history or whatever. Which country has the most? Is it Brazil, South Korea, Spain, or Turkey? All right, number 2. A Canadian Airbnb. Oh, round for the form for round 8 for the Van Goghs in the chat, please, Jessica. I'll read out question 2. A Canadian Airbnb is facing a lawsuit for using what term in the listing? Is it the happiest place on earth, Super Bowl, Big Mac, or Hobbit? So the that's there. That link is there in the chat now for you, Kelsey. So which litigious intellectual property holder is suing a Canadian Airbnb? All right, number 3. Yeah, usually these are available on the website, and people just hadn't been having that problem recently. And the one week that they weren't there is the week that people needed them. All right, which adjunct? An adjunct is something other than malted barley that is used in the fermentation of beer. So, what adjunct is used in Bud Light, which would prevent it from adhering to German beer purity laws? Is that corn, rice, wheat, or beet sugar? All right, number 4. How many strokes under par is an albatross in golf? Is that 1, 2, 3, or 4? Okay, and our final general knowledge question of the night, and barring a tiebreaker, our final question of the night. What does the word piano mean in musical notation? Played on a piano, played quietly, played loudly, or played gradually faster? Oh, you should have got here earlier, Brian. Maybe you could have got a victory. So we can cycle those questions around for people who need to see them again. I figure if the Van Goghs maybe weren't able to answer question 1 due to the form situation. But we've got a range of different areas of knowledge there. Some sport, some music, all different kinds of things. You were sleeping at the time. Understandable. It's the middle of the night for you. All right. So yes, I will. The Bud Light question is one I came up with last night. I was like, I've got like 3 more questions to write. Looking around the room, and saw the box of Bud Light. It was at that level of quiz preparation. So yeah, that question 1 was UNESCO World Heritage Cities. Annyeong. So it's obviously a tense moment, especially for our top teams. They want to be selecting the right answers. Van Gogh's wanting to put that to just lock that victory in, and Pine Tree Inc. wanting to mount the comeback. But let's get those answers in and submitted. If the Van Goghs pull this one off, I think it would be the second victory in 3 weeks. It's been a close one. Pine Tree Inc. holding on to that lead right up until like round 7. It was really went down to the wire, but a couple of real strong rounds in a row for the Van Goghs. All right, so I think we just are waiting on the one team now. So hit submit, and you never know. There could be a tiebreak. It's certainly a mathematical possibility. All right, and I think that means it's time. Should I do it, Bruce Buffer? No, I'm not going to. Okay, so let's have a look at the answers for round 8 before we see the final scores. Spain has the most UNESCO World Heritage cities, and then I think second place is South Korea. There you go, Brian. A little nod to Korea for you. Hobbit. It was like a little Hobbit hole home that is being sued. There is rice in both Budweiser and Bud Light. Rice is the adjunct that is used. Most other American like the big American lagers use corn, but Bud Light uses rice. An albatross is 3 strokes under par, sometimes known as a double eagle. So 1 stroke under par is a birdie, 2 is an eagle, 3 an albatross. The extremely rare 4 strokes under par is a condor. All right, and then finally, piano played quietly. So pianoforte is like the instrument used to be called, a pianoforte, meaning quietly and loudly, basically expressing the dynamic range of the piano compared to its predecessors, like the harpsichord, which could only play at 1 volume. So yes, piano played quietly or played softly. And let's have a look. Oh, Kelsey's about to reset the router. Well, let's see if you've won first. So let's reveal the final scores. And yes, the Van Goghs have done it with 25 points. They finished in first place, 2 points above Pine Tree Inc. Well fought there. I mean, it was close the whole way along. It really was rounds 6 and 7 that made the difference there. Oh, and round 5 as well. It was a slow climb actually. Doing 1 point better each round. What a comeback! Yes, Snurt wins the day indeed. Rounds 4 through 6 it was the slow climb. Round 7 was the knockout blow. But great job there. Congratulations to all our teams tonight. I love to see a comeback. It's always fun to watch. Shows that it can be done. Don't get too discouraged if you start off not getting a ton of points. But congratulations, Van Gogh, a well-deserved victory. Second victory in 3 weeks. You know how these things go. You can go months without winning, and then you get a bunch in a row. I'm sure Shane's not here this week, but Shane can certainly attest to that. Going months, just finishing second or third, and then all of a sudden you get 2 or 3 chained together. We all had a lot of fun. It was great to be joined by Brian at the end. Thanks for popping in to see us, Brian. Thank you, everyone who played. Any newbies, I hope you had a great time, and you come check out future quizzes. So We do this at the same time every Monday. That's 8 p.m. UK time. That's 9 p.m. for those of you on the continent. We have frequent quizzes in the Netherlands and Germany, and we're happy to take people from anywhere all over the world. It's in the middle of the night if you're in Korea, but if you get up to pee in the middle of the night and you want to say hi, come in and say hi. It's lunchtime-ish here in America where we're playing. So it's we start 2 p.m. here in the central time zone where we are. And then on Thursdays, if you so this quiz tonight took about an hour and a half, usually takes about an hour and a half. If you fancy something a bit quicker and maybe a bit earlier, depending on what time zone you're in, on Thursdays we do the speed quiz. That's powered by Kahoot. If you ever play Kahoot, you know how it works. So fast answers get you more points. That's on Thursdays, and it starts at 6:30 UK time. That's 7:30 in the Netherlands or Germany. So thanks for playing, guys. Congratulations again to the Van Goghs. Commiserations to Pine Tree Inc., Pipped at the Post, and thank you to everyone who came and played tonight. So see you on Thursday or see you on Monday. See you on Saturday/Sunday for D&D, Brian. All right. Bye-bye.
I felt your heavy breath through darkness. The smoke is getting close to my bed. I cannot make a sound. Empty lungs, sleeping but awake, paralyzed. Don't cover me, 'cause I'ma let you out, I'ma let you in. You're my enemy. If you would let me go, I will let you in. Don't cover me, 'cause I'ma let you out, I'ma let you in. You're my